Okay, welcome to class training for the enthusiast. My name is Osatwame Patrick Aigbogun, and today is our first class for the module 2. You know, module 1, we talked about IALs, we talked about AWS, introduction, create account, set up the IAM rules. We also talked about VPC, infrastructure generally. So, but this section is the main section because this is going to be work. More work, little talk. So
Okay.
it's going to be more work, little talk. Sorry. During the course of the week, we sent two personal training lab. I hope you able. Did you participate, sir? Did you do it?
No,
Both.
no. I've
Wow.
been very busy, from work to another one. So before I will get home, I will have already exhausted.
Wow. So
After this class, I will look at it and
okay.
uh, finish everything.
Okay. It's easy. It's a very very easy thing. Because we cannot in lab cloud we are doing, if we are to focus on teaching every aspect, it will take us 6 months.
I know, I know.
So we are looking at, okay, there are some materials that you can just go through yourself, like the Linux we talked about. It's for some of us that are new to programming, new to Linux operating system, but we all are using Windows operating system. You understand? So wanted all of us to have an idea of how Linux is, how to make use of it. Then I sent Linux unhashed. Then yesterday I sent Git by GitHub. Is also a version control application. Simple how to commit, how to create a branch. So both classes were very short. You can finish them a day. I'm not saying you should master it, just have an idea so that when we are working, like what many things we are going to be doing today, it's going to come from there. You understand? So that's the essence of that. Please try and do it today or tomorrow. So that by next week, we are going to be creating instances. Let me use the word server. We're going to be launching server, putting application in server, but you cannot do it by clicking. Most times you are going to use command line interface. You understand? And it's going to be bash, Linux. If you don't know Linux, to look like strange thing, to look like you are doing a difficult thing. Meanwhile, it's very simple. You understand?
So, is it compulsory that it has to be from Linux? Why not from Windows?
Well, the most secure, if I'm training you, if we are doing this class just for training sake, we would have do Windows. But if we are actually doing it for a production environment, looking at getting a job with AWS DevOps, most companies, all companies, they don't use Windows. Most of them use Linux.
So, which means Windows is not secure like
Well,
Linux.
Windows is secure, but it's not as secure as Linux. And even in Windows, they don't even use GUI. Even Windows use Bash, which is also a Linux language. You understand me? They use CLI, command line interface. You know, we have two types of interface. We have the graphics user interface. Now we click and click, They will also have command line interface. That one you just use code to write. I can delete your file all your files. I can delete it in less than 8 minutes if I'm using CLI. I can wipe it. I can wipe your laptop in less than 3 minutes.
Oh my God.
But if you are going to wipe using an operating system, using a GUI, it's going to take time. You're going to click and click and click before you now right click. After right clicking, you understand me? It takes time. But if you can move file it's faster because you are working with the shell. You understand me? You are working with the kernel. You're working with the real language, the real machine language. that is so close to the normal 0 and 1. You understand me? So it's faster. Don't worry, when we are doing it, you will understand what I'm talking about. To create a folder very easy. So that is why most company, and it's also very secure and it's very light. You understand me? It doesn't occupy space like that. So we know in IT, all our things we are doing in IT is how to reduce costs, minimizing costs and maximizing profit.
Of course.
So you must know Linux. It's a must. But it's very easy. It's very easy. That's why if you have done that on Hash today, you will be surprised to be very easy. But well, we can still start today and pick it up from where we stop so that you understand. So this is our scope, this section, this module. This scope as small as you're seeing
another
it.
Environment, Unix.
Um,
So how is that one different from Linux and Windows?
which one?
Unix.
Unix is still part. Unix is like the founder. It's like the bedrock.
Okay.
Are you getting me? Windows were formed from Unix. Linux was formed from Unix. Unix is like the bedrock. It's out of Unix that Linux came out from. You understand me? So both of them are still from in between. So in this module, we're going to be talking about content delivery. That's our main goal. Our main goal is we're going to be using AWS to work. You understand me? To deliver job. You understand me? To launch, to create a website, to deliver a web application, to deliver a mobile application, to share files. You understand me? So we are going to be applying AWS. Then we're going to be using DevOps methodology. Some of our projects we are going to be doing. You understand me? And to do that, we're going to be using Linux. We're going to be using infrastructure as a code. Where you see, most times when we are doing our module 1, we are always going to, we'll open console, we'll click and click, you understand me? But this section, we're not going to be doing more clicking. Fine, there's no how we can avoid clicking. We're still going to be clicking, but we're going to be doing more of coding. More of code. So it's going to be more of code. We're going to be using code to create instance. We're going to be using code to create IAM user. You understand me? That's what we're going to be doing. We are going to make use of Terraform. So we're going to create a virtual machines. I want to use Docker. I want to use Kubernetes. I want to do storage. I want to do database. I want to do many things. Are you getting me? But what we're going to be focusing on this session is how to use AWS. You know, in our session 1, we talked about to create an administration, how to secure, how to administer. But this time we are not going to be administering more. We're going to be using it. So, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. We also talked about, you know, when we were talking about services, cloud services, public cloud services, we talk about infrastructure as a service, infrastructure as a code, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. But I didn't really go deep because we're just introducing us to, you understand me? I just talked into a touch, so that everybody will be carried along. But in this session, we are going to be really going deep about it. You understand me? So if you look at my screen very well, you see we have on-premise. You see on-premise. You see infrastructure as a service. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it.
You see platform as a service. You see software as a service. You see all the layers. So if you are operating a data center by yourself, you see the first one, say on-premise, meaning every aspect of the layers, you are in control. You are in control of the network. You are in control of the service, of the storage. You are in control of the servers. You are the one to buy the server. You are in charge. The virtualization, how to make that server available for others to use. You are going to be in charge. You are going to be in charge of operating system. You are going to be in charge of middleware. You understand me? Middleware, you talked about Docker. You understand me? Other application you're going to be putting like Apache and so. You're going to be in charge of the runtime. You're going to be in charge of the data you put, the security of the data. You're going to be in charge of the application. That is if you are on-prem. But if you are using cloud infrastructure, eh, AWS, for example, they will provide for you the networking. They will provide for you all the hardware. All these ones are the hardware. They will buy the hardware for you. They will configure the hardware. They will configure the network. They will buy storage for you. They will get the servers and they will virtualize it. The virtualization means they will install an application that will enable you to make use of those things that they have in their premises. That process of making it available for you that you are not there, but you can make use of it is called virtualization. You understand me? So they're going to do that for you. But from the installing of the operating system, you are going to be in charge of operating system. You're going to be in charge of installing any application you want to put, any middleware you want to put, for maybe Apache, maybe depends on the application you want to, maybe MySQL. You understand me? You are in charge. So the runtime, the time you are going to, how long you are going to use it, are you getting me? You are going to be in control. The data security that you put inside that file, you are going to be in control. Are you getting me? It's your responsibility to save it. Then the application is your responsibility to make sure that the application is available. That is not cloud. That is not their responsibility. That's infrastructure as a service. So you see, last time we're talking about infrastructure as a service, infrastructure as a service. Immediately you enter AWS, what you see from that AWS platform is from this OS upward. From this virtualization downward, you don't know what is going on there. They are telling you that everything about it is safe. They are going to secure it. They are going to make it available for you at 99.9997. Are you getting me? That security, that nobody will go there and vandalize it. That if anything happens, you can sue them with their SLA. That be service level agreement. But from the operating system, how you log into the server you have created, how you log into your, how many times, the time you use it running it, are you getting me? The data you put inside and the availability of your application is your own responsibility. It's not their responsibility. Okay. You understand me? That is for infrastructure as a service. But for platform as a service, if you are subscribing for platform as a service, what you are telling them is that the runtime, the middleware, and the operating system, they are going to be in control. Are you getting me? But the data you put and the application you put is your responsibility.
Okay.
So if you are using, maybe today now, so, okay, let us use what we call WordPress. I just install WordPress. Are you getting me? Or maybe I'm using Kubernetes. I'm going to say ECS, that is Elastic Container Service. Elastic Container Service that manages container and Docker. We are going to be talking about it. It's a platform as a service. You understand me? EKS is a platform as a service. So the kind of server they launch, how they install it, you are not interested. Your own is that anytime you want to make use of ECS, or anytime you want to make use of WordPress with AWS, are you getting me? They should make it available for you. So, but when you not use the WordPress or create a website and launch the website, you're also going to be in control of the website. Are you getting me? That's platform as a service. But for software as a service, everything about the everything from the beginning to the end is AWS responsibility. But the application that comes out from it, for example, now we're talking about Chimes. You know, I talked about Chimes last time. Chimes is like Zoom that we are using now. You understand me? You don't know how they install it. You don't know how to do it. You don't know how they developed it. It's just that you are making use of it. So you only pay for what you are using. That's software as a service.
Okay.
So for us now, for our class, we are going to start from this infrastructure as a service. We are going to build infrastructure as a service from the beginning to the end. Then later we'll make use of platform as a service. Then later we'll make use of software as a service. You understand me? We'll use it to work, real life work. So that is our work. This module is going to focus on delivering. So we are not using on-prem. So this on-prem is not where we're going to be focused. We are going to start from this infrastructure as a service. So what is virtualization? Well, virtualization is the act. I'm going to send you a video. Are you getting me? I want to send
Okay.
you a video. You know, most times before, in fact, what gave birth to cloud, what gave birth to us make use of resources in AWS is virtualization. Virtualization, let me put it in a literal word, in a layman language. It actually means, hello?
Hello?
Can you
I'm
hear
with
me
you.
now? Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
It actually means making things that are real. The real thing, providing the real thing in on-prem to somebody as if it is real. You understand me? That is a layman way of explaining visualization. For example, I have my laptop with me here. Are you getting me? And I'm making use
Oh,
of my laptop. If I can provide everything about this my laptop for you to use for where you are, and you are using my laptop, you're using my memory, I have succeeded in virtualizing my laptop for you. So you are using my laptop, I'm using my laptop, but you are using the virtual aspect, meaning the not real aspect, not the physical aspect of my laptop.
okay.
So that thing that I put in my laptop that that enable you to be making use of my laptop as if you own my laptop is called virtualization.
Okay.
You understand me? So those things you put in your laptop that makes other people to make use, either server, laptop, that makes other people to make use of that laptop and serve as if it's their own, as if it's real to them. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
That application, that software you put is called virtualization. And mostly what they use is called Hypervisor. You understand me? Hypervisor is a software that enable machines to be divided and to be virtualized. What I mean is that for a machine to be shared between people, between users, in an isolated form, making the user to feel as if they are making use of the machine physically. You understand me? Meanwhile, they are just making the virtual aspect of the machine. It's different from partitioning. You understand me? When you partition your system, you are dividing your system so that you can put operating system. But when I virtualize, meaning I'm mirroring my laptop, you are not using the image of my laptop. You understand me? Meanwhile, the real laptop is here. So we have two type of, it's called a hypervisor. Hypervisor, also known as virtual machine monitor, is a software that creates and runs virtual machines. Hypervisor allows one host computer to support multiple guests. You know, I mean, one host, that one computer, to support multiple guests, like multiple user VMs, by virtually sharing its resources, such as memory, processor, and so. So before, remember I mentioned that if you want to make use of server, you have to buy a server, full server. You have to put operating system, then you have to put your application. But now, AWS have bought their server and they put a virtualizing application software called Hypervisor. Are you getting me? And they have loaded it. Now we are now using their server. Are you getting me? So they did the server in a way, they divide the server in a way, they virtualize it in a way, they divided it in a way that when you are making use of your server, you are making use of it as a unit. Meanwhile, that unit you are using, one server, you can share one server to 5 users, and those 5 users will be using it as if they are using independent server. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
One server now, you will not virtualize it into like 4, 5. So that 5 people will be using that one server as if they are using 5 servers in a separate way, because both the operating system and everything that we're going to be doing will be independent. And they will also have different IP addresses. You see how powerful it is? And they will be thinking they are using one system, different system. Meanwhile, they are not actually using different system. They are using one system. Yeah, that system have been virtualized. So we have two type of hypervisor. We have a hypervisor 1 and a hypervisor 2. Understand me? So what is a bare metal? What is a virtual machine? A bare metal is a physical server. You know that physical server that you put RAM, that you put hard drive. That that is a metal. That's a bare metal machine. Are you getting me? So
Yeah.
it's a bare metal machine. It has not been virtualized. But immediately you place an hypervisor on it, you see, it does not change it from becoming a bare metal. It's still a bare metal. Are you getting me? But when you now create that a bare metal, you now put an hypervisor, you now divide that bare metal into 5 places. That one of each places is called a virtual of the real machine, because it has been virtualized. You understand me? That's what makes it a virtual machine. So a virtual machine is like a part of a bare metal, but just that part, why is it called virtual machines? Because the part of the machine you are actually using is the virtual aspect of the machine. Are you getting me? Is the divided aspect of the machine that they are located for you to use. You understand me?
Okay.
So that is a virtual machine. That's a bare metal machine. So that's what summarizes it. So we have 2 types of virtual machines. We have virtual hypervisor. We have hypervisor 1, hypervisor 2. When you buy a physical machine, you put an hypervisor on it, like a server, and people started sharing that system. It's called hypervisor 1. But you see, this is my laptop that I have. This is your laptop that you also have there. You already have an operating system, Abi.
Yes.
You already have an operating system. You can also buy an hypervisor on top of that, your operating system. Are you getting me? You now install a hypervisor on top of that, your machine. When you install that hypervisor, can you hear me?
Is it an application that one will buy and install on the system?
Yes.
How does it work?
It's like it's a software.
Okay.
It's a software. It's an operating system that you install. The way you install your operating system, Windows and Windows 7, Windows 8, Linux. You understand me? The way you install those applications, the way you install your operating system, that's how you also install an hypervisor. Just that hypervisor is lighter, is not as heavy as a regular operating system. You understand me? So the thing is that when you have an existing machine, you already put an operating system on it, and you still went ahead to put an hypervisor on top of the operating system. So that you can start sharing the operating system, you can start sharing that machine as a virtual machine. That kind of hypervisor that you put in an already existing machine is called hypervisor 2. Are you getting it? An example of it is a virtual box. I'm going to show you one. Yeah, Oracle has one. We have Oracle virtual box. I will show you one. So that your system you have, you can put an hypervisor on it, and put different operating system on it, and those operating system will be working as if they are different machines, but they will be sharing the resources of your main machine. Do you understand? So that is what we are going to be talking about. We're going to be practicing it. So let's go there. Now, an example of an hypervisor, we also have, you heard of EC2. I said hypervisor, a virtual machine. You heard of EC2, Nabi? Elastic compute.
So this
cloud compute.
It's an example of a
virtual machine. No, it's an example of a virtual machine.
Okay, go ahead.
So EC2, EC2 is like the AWS have already gotten a server. Are you getting me? They have put an hypervisor on top of the server. Are you getting me? So they now gave you those hypervised server, those virtual server, is what they now give to you to use. So they call their own EC2.
Okay.
You understand me? So they call their own virtual machine EC2. So which means Amazon cloud, compute cloud. Are you getting me? The Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, that CC is what they convert as 2. You understand me? Because Amazon Elastic, which is E, compute, which is first C, and cloud, which is second C. That's why they say EC2. You understand me?
EC2.
So that's how they make it Amazon EC2, meaning Amazon First C
Cloud.
signifies compute, while the second C signifies cloud. Are you getting me? So there are so many aspects of, we have macro, we have medium, we have large. You understand me? It depends on the one you want to use. You can decide to say, okay, AWS, I don't want to share any server with anybody. Give me a fresh server. There's no wahala. They'll give you a fresh server. It's called dedicated. Are you getting me? Dedicated server. That is, you don't want anybody to share that server with you. You understand me? You can also have a shared server. You can also have a spot. You can pay for a spot. You can say, please, anytime, can you tell me when there's no load? They will tell you around every Wednesday, we don't have load. Just okay. Those times that you guys, that servers are always available for you to use. I want to be making use of those time. Are you getting me? To score that spot, you pay, and just that when they want to make use of their server, they will tell you at that time it will not be available for you. So application that you know that is not really critical, that's when you use on that. So these are the things we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about auto scaling. Auto scaling, as you remember, I mentioned it in our module 1, is when you put application, maybe you want to run two server. Maybe you do 2 instance. Are you getting me? In the evening, more load is coming to that instance. You know, those 2 instances will not be able to carry the load. So you now program your instance. Let me tell you the meaning of instance. Instance means a slice. Are you getting me? A slice of a virtual machine is an instance. So anytime you launch EC2, you are launching an instance. You understand me? That's what it means. Instance also means a server, just as a virtualized server. So I'll be making use of the word instance every time. Okay. So when you take an instance, you are launching 2 instances at the same time, is running, and the load increase. What will you do? You configure your server that in case the load increase to like 50% or 70%, please launch 2 extra server.
Okay.
So that act of launching 2 extra server, and when the load have reduced, please shut down 2 server. That act of increasing server and reducing server based on load and demand is called auto scaling.
Okay.
You understand me? So either you scale up, you scale down, or you scale, you understand me? Or you scale horizontally, or you scale vertically. Are you getting me? So depends, you can scale up the processor, you can scale up the number of instances. You understand me? So that is auto scaling. There load balancing. Load balancing is that I'll also tell you in load balancing, we're going to be talking about, we're going to be doing practical. After this time, we are going to straight to the practical. So auto scaling is, you know, when you are, a traffic is coming from one place, maybe you immediately say www.amazon.com, from your system, a message, a traffic is sent to that your domain name. Are you getting me? So instead of every time you are requesting for that application, instead of the load to be going to that server instantly, they can put an application or a hardware called a load balancer that will accept your load. Are you getting me? And share it to different server. You understand me? That act of sharing, of taking a load from one place and sharing to different server is called load balancing. I want to be talking about that. I want to be talking about CloudWatch. Security group. CloudWatch means setting up alarms, setting up things to look at on the characteristics, the behavior of your instance, behavior of everything about your cloud. Are you getting me? That's we're going to be talking about that. That's CloudWatch. Then security group. Security group is like creating a firewall. A firewall means restricting some things from some IP, some port. You understand me? To access your instance. For example, now you remember, as I mentioned, now you have my my system is with me here, and this is my system here. I don't want people from that has a certain IP to locate it. I said I don't want some people that have a certain IP to locate it. So those IP, I will block it. Are you getting me? So when they are trying to locate my system, they will not be able to access it. You understand me? That act of allowing some IP and reducing some IP and creating that port of restrict. You are trying to secure your system. Sorry, that process of securing your system is called security group. Are you getting me? I'm going to be talking about that. I'm going to be doing more of it. So let's go straight to our lab today. Let's go straight to our lab today, and we're going to be talking about that. So if you have any question, you can ask me. So that is it. I'm going to be talking about security. We're going to be talking about DevOps, waterfall, Scrum. In that Scrum, I say you should go and study that time. I want to talk about it. I want to be dealing with it. That lean, SROE, that's site reliability, and CRO and customer relation management. We want to be talking about it. So this module is going to be more of hands-on as we're going to be building on it. But this is how it's going to start. So let's go straight to our work, and let's start.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, you can see in my system now, it's showing EC2 dashboard. There is nothing running. You understand me? So we're going to create. You
I'm
see,
still seeing the slides.
you are still seeing the slide. Okay, resume share. Okay, hold on. Let me stop the share and let me go back to the share now. Beautiful. So you can see my stage now.
Okay.
Okay, now let's go to. Let me increase the size. Okay, now you go to EC2. Right now, I don't have any EC2 running, any server running. So we are going to launch our first server today. Are you getting me? This is our first server launch. To launch your server, you just come here and click launch server. You understand me? So an AMI means Amazon Machine Image. What does AMI do? AMI is like an operating system. Not it's like an operating system, it's an operating system. You know, when you have a laptop, a server, you understand? You have a server, you must put an operating system or else it will not work. You know, from what we mentioned here, you see what we were starting here, you see from this aspect, you see the first thing you put here is operating system, Abi.
Yeah.
And this is what we are going to do now. So we are going to the operating system in AWS is called AMI, Amazon Machine Image. Are you getting me? It's an image, is the operating system. You understand? So let's put an operating system. Now we are launching our server. So let's go to operating system. Let's use our free tier. We have so many operating systems here. We have AMI. We have Mac OS. You know, Mac OS means Mac. That is Apple system. You can decide to create a Mac system. Mac OS. These are Mac system. You understand me? You can decide to put Red Hat. Red Hat is owned by Oracle. You know, you heard of Oracle?
Yes.
Owned by Oracle. I think they call them. Let me remember now. There's a name. Ash. I will remember the complete name of their company, but it's owned by Oracle. Then we have Ubuntu. We have SUSE. SUSE is another company too. Then we have Ubuntu. We have Windows. You see Windows Server. We also have Windows Server. You can use Windows. Then we have
Which one is this? Is this deep learning? Is that one a server too?
yeah, it's an operating system too. It's used for high-end system. Are you getting me? If you want to do machine learning, instead of you to be installing all those operating system, you just come here and install this. Are you getting me? So it comes
Okay.
with so many system. NVIDIA, it's NVIDIA Docker. NVIDIA is a graphics processor. application. It came come up with so many things. So you have deep learning tool is bound tool. Then we have Debian. We have Debian. So there are so many versions. There are so many versions. You understand me? There are so many versions to use. So many versions. So each of the operating system has a pre-installed application on it. So for this class, for the sake of today, we are going to be using this. So we'll come here. So please, I would recommend you do this with me too.
Okay.
Okay. Now, after you have selected your operating system. Now it's not telling you which type of instance do you want to create, meaning which type of server, what's the size of, what do you want to use it for? What kind of server do you want? So in different server, these are the type of EC2 that AWS have. We have T2 Nano, which has, T2 Nano has one operating system, one is processor, that's
CPU.
virtual processor, one virtual processor, one virtual RAM, is called GIB, elastic block storage. This is like a storage system, like hard drive. Are you getting me? It's like a hard drive. Saying it's used for, it has low moderate ABS elastic block storage. This one you can, you say it's available, but you can increase it. This one that this EBS that it has is for, you understand, is for the whole system to save, maybe to save some all your applications. We call it the root application. That's what it has. So, but there's a way you go. The more you go, the more you now have another EBS. I get my elastic block storage that you can still add to the operating, that to the, can add to the memory that you already have. You know, every laptop comes with hard drive. Just take this one as the hard drive of the system. So this is the processor. This is the RAM. I get, this is the hard drive. This is the external hard drive that you add to it. This is the network. Eh? So this is IPv6. You know, I mentioned IPv6 in our last class. Means IP, Internet Protocol version 6 support. So if you go down, you see different version. We have T2 large. T2 large have 8 processor. They have 32 gig RAM. Are you getting me? So you can see the more you go, the more you see. This one have up to 5 gigabytes throughput. So if you go down, you see the more you use, all of them come with different price. Different price. You can see the processor. You can see different large. The different sizes has different name. We have C4.4 large, C4.8 large. You know what I mean? This is 32 processor, 60 gig RAM. You understand? We even have 72 processor, 144 gig RAM. Are you getting me? So 92 processor. These ones are, if in case you want to do robotics, all these high machines, maybe you want to do simulation for plane. You understand me? Or high, and that's, you need high compute power. This is what you use, and it's available for you. I can still use it too. It's not that I cannot use it for my training, but it comes with a price. Are you getting me? It comes with a price. So me, I want to use free tier for my training. But if I'm doing a production, I will first of all ask myself, what do I want to use it for? I will draft what I want to use it for. Then after knowing what I want to use it for, I will know the kind of compute power I need. Then after doing that, I will now come in and choose the one I want to use. You understand me?
Yeah.
So that is it. So now we are doing our free training. So that's why I'm using free tier. This free tier is like I have about 700 hours. I know it's not up to 700 hours. I think I have like one week to use it. Understand me? To use it. Okay, Sam, we have 750 hours. Understand me? To use it. Immediately you see that 750 hours, automatically they will start charging me. So I would recommend you use this one for your training. Now we have selected our stuff. Now it's asking me, it's saying one, how many instance, how many of it do I want to create? You can create more than one. You can say two, you can say one. Let's say one. Am I requesting for ports? No, spot, I mentioned spot is when you want it to be when their server is not in use. They should create for you. I get me. I don't want to use spot. I want to use the normal default. Now the VPC. Remember when I was talking about VPC, I said it's about creating a infrastructure for your system. You understand me? So that we are creating a VPC. A VPC is like a network that surrounds all your resources. Now this is a server. So this server will ask you which of the VPC do you want to put it so that you can access it. You understand? You can decide to create VPC. Remember we talked about creating a VPC in our last class. So it will be easy for you to create VPC. No, I want to make use of a default VPC. Now it's saying that there is no subnet. There was a time I deleted all my subnet. So it's telling me that in this,
most of the subnets and VPC that we created the other time, we can make use of it here.
Yes, you can make use of it. I think let me make use of it. I think my own was in Oregon. Let me go to Oregon. So you can make use of those VPC we created last time. Now our class is a continuity class. You understand me? It's a continuity class. So you can make use of it. So I would recommend everybody, because this time we're going to be very fast. We're going to be very fast. So we have spent, can you imagine? So because I'm changing my region, it's going to take time for it to load. So it'll take time for it to load. Let me just start again. So I'm not going to be talking.
If we're to be the same region,
no, I just changed the region. The way I was before, is not where we were doing our practical class. So I just want us to go. I just want to go to the. See, you can select your region here. You understand me? You can select where you want to put your instance. Like for me now, I can decide to say, okay, let me put my instance in South Africa, because Africa is closer to me, Abi. Yeah, I'll just come to South Africa. I'll come to South Africa. This is Africa, Cape Town. Can come there and just put my instance there. So let me use Africa for. You can put it
Africa,
anywhere.
South Africa.
I'm using South Africa, yes. Me, I'm using South Africa. So you can use Canada, since you understand me. Canada is there. You see Canada there. Canada is we have, you see Canada Central. You can use Canada Central. Can use Canada Central. So I'm using South Africa. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, hello. I'm still with you.
Okay, now let's create your instance, your first instance. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
So I would recommend you use your default.
Okay.
Use your default, just launch your instance. So it's very easy. This is the most easiest thing to do. So I'm using my free tier. Then I'm using T2 micro free tier. I'm using my default VPC. See my default VPC. For now, use your default VPC because it's our first instance. Can launch 2, then add instance to placement group, no. We'll talk about that one later. Domain directory, IAM row, no need. Just, it's our first instance now. You don't need to, just go to next. Add storage, hard drive. It's asking you to add hard drive. Now it has 8 gig RAM, is enough. You understand? The type of SSD is okay. We have magnetic standard, which is like magnetic standard SSD. Just use the regular SSD GP2. Then go to tag. Just tag this one, my first instance. You can call it different name. Put the name, first of all, you know how we name our tag now. If you want to tag, you first of all put name, yeah. Then you go to tag, you put in the tag there. Then security group. Remember I mentioned security group, how you're able to enter the system. Yes.
Yeah.
So now this is telling you now, this is the security group it has. The security group is that it's only SSH TCP port 22. This one means from your laptop using SSH, which we are going to be using to configure. See, that is the only way you can access this system. Meaning you cannot access this server from the internet. Yes, that means so if you want to access it from the internet, you have to write it here. I can decide to say, okay, because I want to use internet. Internet is called port 80. I come to HTTP. I say port 80. Then it's asking me from which source. For example, now, if I don't want anybody to enter to access this server from SSH, then what it means is that I can put my server number, my server IP address here.
Okay.
Meaning I put my server IP address here, and I did not put this HTTP, meaning nobody can access it through SSH apart from my server. Understand me? Apart from my system. But I don't want to put my server IP address here. So I'm saying from anywhere, but we're going to be playing with it. Then I'll say, okay, I've already told the system enable port 80. I can also say enable port. So this is where you increase your port. I can say enable your port HTTPS port 443. You understand me? So it's telling me that rules 000 allow IP address to access your instance. We recommend setting security group through allow access to IP addresses only. Non-IP addresses only. I know, but we are practicing now. So you can allow it for now. Normally it's telling me that putting 000 here is not right. I should put my system IP address. But for now, we're just launching. So we are launching our first server. So now this key here, take note of it. Your own is new, Abby. It's going to say create new key pair. Yes, that's what it's going to tell you. So this create key pair, put the name you want to save. Save this key pair, because without this key pair, you will not be able to access your system. So I can want to call it my module 2. Then I'll say download. You download it. So it's already downloaded in my system. So as I downloaded it in my system, then I can now launch instance. So to take time. So my instance is launched. You know, I put 2 instances. That's why it's created 2 instances for me. I can view. Okay. It says successful. So the 2 instances are successful. So this is what
I can delete this instance if I want.
Yes, immediately after the class today, you must delete it.
Okay.
So that it will not be eating up your resources. So this is the 2 instances we created now.
So these 2 instances serve as a server.
Yeah, these are two servers you just launched now. So you can put anything you like in this server. You can put server, you can put web application. You can put anything you want to do in this server. So this is your first server you launched. So congratulations for launching your first server.
Okay.
So can you do it again? Can you do it again? So what I want you to do for me now, I want you to go open your system, create VPC, create
Okay.
subnet,
Mm.
create this server, launch the server on top of your VPC and subnet. Can you do that?
So let me try.
Okay, share your screen. I want to see you as you do it. So I want to enable you to share your screen because remember I told you this is a practical class. So I'm going to see you do it now. Share your screen. I'm going to stop my own screen share, or you share your own first. Can you share your screen now?
That's what I'm trying to
Okay.
share.
Okay, I'm ready when you are ready.